All right, we're going live. So,
Mhm.
you know what, Hank? What
What's
do
that?
all women love?
They love an honest man,
Oh, that's good. That's good. Wow.
or at
Wow,
least
man.
an honest person. I need to,
I got you. I got you.
because we're in a multicultural and dynamic society. So,
Yes, yes. Okay, so you put me to shame because I was going to say diamonds.
well, actually, there, they say diamonds, but I know some people who don't want diamonds. They'd rather have a nice string of Mickey Moto pearls.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
Pearls. All right.
yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Growing up, I was told that diamonds are a girl's best friend.
I was told that, but sometimes you see people with diamond rings on, and you can't see the diamond. They have this faux pas stuff,
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah. The
you know
engineer
these,
stuff, right?
this, yeah, this. But again, what can I tell you?
What can I say, huh?
Yeah,
Well,
um,
you know what Wall Street likes,
money.
and part of that is Jamie Dimon. Okay,
Oh, that's why you said diamond. I wasn't thinking. That is right. That's what we're going to talk about.
and
But
that's
why
what
do
we're
they
talking
like?
about.
But why do they like him? That
Uh,
that's the question.
Well, because they like a good chase.
I like
Hence
your
the
play
bank.
on words, boy. You're good. You're good. I wasn't expecting that. I was thinking along the lines that he has credibility, and he seems to have a
He has the
certain
hair. He has the
what
hair.
he still has hair, yeah. But he
Uh,
did say that what didn't turn gray turned loose. So I thought that was interesting. But
Oh my goodness.
he becomes, I think he becomes the mouthpiece to banking in general, and and that's not I don't think that's an exaggeration. I can't think of anybody from the other big banks, traditional or otherwise,
Nope.
that is willing to step forward, uh, and reveal himself. Wells Fargo guy doesn't.
And for good reason, probably.
Bank of
I'm joking.
America guy doesn't. And there are other big banks out there,
Yeah,
but Diamond in the banking financial world seems to be seems to be
more of a spokesman.
well, but a spokesman with character. If,
Charisma.
well, he has that too, and so I think when he speaks, people are inclined to pay attention, um, um, and I think that's refreshing in today's society, that we have someone that we can trust, and trust is a strong word, but I would trust what he says over a lot of other people that are out there. And he's been around long enough that if he didn't walk the talk, um, he wouldn't be front and center as much as he is.
I agree with that. So, with this, with the interview or the take that CNBC has,
Hmm.
what can what can we gain from it? Right? What are those highlights?
Well, I think I have two perspectives.
Okay.
The first perspective is sort of an alert for the big folk that says business as usual is not business as usual, that we all are going to have to make some adjustments with our business model, um, in the sense that we have profited and prospered, um, when society in general has not. done as well um, as it could do. And then for the other perspective is for society who hasn't done as well. He's saying there may still be some turbulence that you must endure that's created by the results of the pandemic and the actions that the federal government took to try to stabilize and create a certain degree of balance. And though the balance was somewhat focused on middle America, so to speak, all of America benefited by the actions taken by the federal government. I'm sorry?
No, you're right. You're right. So you touched on a lot of different things, right? You touched on the economy. You touched on more of a social stance too, which is also part of what was discussed there.
Mm-hmm.
There's this book, and I don't know. Have you heard this book, or have you read this book yet? Golly, the book is titled "Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun?" Have you read that book yet?
Oh, I haven't.
You
But
haven't?
this
Okay.
book was written 20 years ago.
This book, yeah. Well, maybe 40, right?
It was a guy,
Beatrice.
Beatrice. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, having some of the takes from Diamond reminds me of a little bit of that book.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit of that book. I'm not going to say that they're replicas or anything like that, but remind me a little bit of that book.
But here's when I read the book, it was they didn't know who he was.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to get as successful as he got, he stayed in the shadows, and he had a white person, okay, to basically be the front guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it was time for him to make his major purchase, and they realized that he was it, they were shocked. And it's unfortunate that there has to be a veil, so to speak, on some of the stuff that people of color are trying to do to get ahead and to stay ahead in a multicultural society. Because I think, Leland, you'll agree that, and maybe not, that there's a lot of inequities in the game of success. That the haves continue to have more, and then the dribbles seem to have a different channeling of what's left. That if you don't know somebody, if you're not connected, it's difficult to get from where you are to where you want to be.
So one of the things that Diamond mentioned, mentioned in this article, was they're anticipating to have more, you called it, I think it was Latinx, right? Latinx, and people in position or leadership, things like that. So from a holistic view, something that's interesting to me is I'm seeing more and more pushes for things like that. But I just feel as though some of this stuff is kind of late, and I'm not really sure if it's from a publicity standpoint or if it's truly from a strategic standpoint. And if it's strategic, then what is the true aim?
In that you put it that way, I think as I sit here, I think it's both. Let me explain. When President Joe Biden was running for president, on numerous occasions, he mentioned about equity.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Which,
I think,
real quick, that means different things to different people.
well, yeah, and to me, his terminology of equity meant that more people will have access to more opportunity to prosper. Okay, that there will be more seats at the table, or greater opportunities to participate in the American dream.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Now, and so corporate America, the U.S. Chamber was taking note of that, and the chamber has played, I won't say favorites, but I'm going to say favorites based on who's in the White House.
Okay.
Okay, and
they like job security,
and you and I know that the big companies pay millions of dollars every year for lobbyist firms to play in the rules and regulations that emanate from Capitol Hill, be it on the House side, the Senate side, or within the presidency. And I could go on to say, I'm going to go out on a limb and to say to a large degree of what happens in the judiciary. Okay.
I don't think that's a limb at all.
And so with Biden pushing for, Biden was talking about when he got in that he was going to push for another stimulus. What happened in December, late November and early December?
Was that the stimulus?
There was part two of a stimulus by the former administration.
Gotcha.
And then Biden was saying, well, he thought that people should get $2,000, and he said that he thought it should be a $2 trillion entity or proposition. And there were people who rolled their eyes. What ultimately happened?
Was it 14?
Oh, yeah, well, but again, 6 plus 14 is 2,000. Now, the prognosticators now recognized that stimulus overall, not the 2 trillion, stimulus overall undergird the American society. And for the most part, even though there's a bubble that we're going to be faced with down the road, and we don't know when,
huge bubble,
people are doing a lot better than anticipated. And a lot of people have been able to really make ends meet, keep a roof over their head and all those things because of stimulus. Now, in my opinion, it's not over. And that's why there's a lot of discussion going on right now about the $2 trillion infrastructure bill. Because in the $2 trillion infrastructure bill, there's a word that people use as a bad word in a democratic republic, in a democratic society where we talk about equality. And that word is socialism.
Socialism.
Correct.
Yeah, I think one of you guys called me a socialist in our earlier meeting today, in our morning meeting.
But I think it was tongue in cheek.
No offense taken.
But think about it. It's again, it's a dirty word. It's sort of like woke. And I'm going what the heck is woke? I never heard about woke before. But it's this idea that people find a word and they basically drive it home and drive it home and drive it home and drive it home and make it go from a hip hop cultural thing to now it becomes political.
I never knew that it was even hip hop. Okay. So,
Well, I didn't hear about it until about 2 months ago. It goes to show you how involved I am with what's happening in society. But
ooh. So,
uh-huh.
and so my thing is based on what Jamie is saying here.
Mhm.
Probably if it wasn't for the current administration, I don't see a reason for him to even mention that. And I almost feel as though it was more of a buzzword than actually a strategic plan, a year or so out. I don't see that.
But how else do you appeal to individuals who might pick up this article and read it?
True.
Okay.
And then how else will someone want to expand their banking base, right?
Yeah.
To go along with growing populations.
But here's something.
In a certain demographic, basically.
Now, we're supposed to be talking to a banker sometime here in the near future.
Yep, next week.
Here's something that gets me, and I think people who've got really, really deep pockets and a lot of money in the bank, they may have special relationships with the banks. But the average person who's got $5, $10, $20, $50,000, $100,000 in a bank someplace, how much interest do you think that they're drawing on the money that the bank uses for almost anything?
I think it's like 0.5%, like a half percent
or less. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is nothing, but because they know your savings or your spending habits, and they know that you normally keep 100 grand in the bank. What do they do with your 100 grand every day?
It's going to work.
That's right. It's working for whom?
For them.
For them.
Or the developers.
What people who use them? Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. They'll give you on $10,000. They'll give you $100. Okay. And they're letting your money out the front door at 8, 10, 12%.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in the commercial markets.
Okay.
And the interest rates for commercial lending haven't really dropped, although we know that mortgage lending has dropped for owner occupants.
Well, and mortgage rates for homes, depending on who's trying to get your attention, they're talking about around 2%.
Yeah.
Or you can refinance for about 4.5%. Now all of that helps the average homeowner. Okay. Banks don't want you to refinance from a 5 or 6% down to 2%, do they?
No way.
No way. So anyway, so it's, but here's something else I got out of the article. And sometimes sometimes my brain goes way out there. And this is what I wrote on his article when he was talking about the pandemic. I said it will force individuals out of the market, because you and I won't be able to afford to participate. As an example, an individual, if he or she were to try to buy 10 shares of Apple, Google, Facebook,
say Coinbase,
Microsoft, or a Bitcoin, you'd need almost 100 grand. I'm exaggerating the number. You'll need a lot.
It might be, yeah.
You wouldn't. Well, no, you need more than that, because I think it was Google that was going for over 2,000 a share. You buy 10 shares. What's that?
20, yeah.
A Bitcoin is about 60,000.
Correct.
So I'm saying that average person can't participate in that environment.
That's true.
So I don't know whether it's deliberate, where certain things are so high, and we were talking about evaluations earlier, that a share of something is so high that it forces you to participate in a mutual fund or something where you can invest a little bit and eventually you might own a share.
But you and I both know that the way things work with any business that's on any stock exchange, that those are fragments of derivatives that they're so far removed from the actual share. It's not
Mhm.
even funny. Yeah,
You
there's no
know,
way.
but it was just interesting. And then I said something else.
And I want to say this real quick for anyone, for those who are listening. We would suggest that you get a self-directed account. If you're working for your employer, they have given you their 401k or IRA, or they're matching whatever your contributions are. That's great. You can
Mhm.
still open up an additional account and have a self-directed IRA or 401k. The self-directed account will allow you to invest in things that are outside of the stock market. We're not even telling you what to invest in. It's like you can invest in, I think, almost anything, So if you want to invest in gold, if you want to invest in oil royalties, if you want to invest in food trucks, you can do that, but you can't do it with your traditional IRA or 401k. You have to use self-directed accounts. That's the only way it works.
May I interject?
Absolutely.
Now, I think if for those of you who are fortunate enough to have a financial planner, okay, I want you to think in which direction your financial planner is 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 driving, steering, directing you. Typically, it's going to be a mutual fund. Some might talk about a Roth IRA. They may talk about bonds, but it's the market, and your financial planner is managing whose money?
Not theirs, but I think it's yours.
Okay, so it'll be managing my money.
Yeah, why not?
So, do you think that financial planner is going to talk to you about a self-directed IRA or?
Absolutely not. Matter of fact, just so you guys know, why well, actually, let me ask you, Hank, why would that be the case? Why would someone not want you to have a self-directed account?
They lose money.
They lose money because now who's managing it?
They are.
You are, yeah, absolutely. You're managing it. If you have a self-directed account,
I'm managing, and I can do whatever it is that I want to. I can put as much in as I need to. Oh, and aside from that, Leland, can I use that self-directed IRA for something else?
You can use it for a lot of things.
Such as what?
Such as buying a business.
Okay, now hang on a second. Hang on a second. Because I'm a simple-minded guy. If something makes sense to me, then what I want to be able to do is to figure out how do I participate in that particular arena. Because if I go out online and I do some research on self-directed, it doesn't tell me the how or who I should go to get certain things done.
No.
It'll give me all of the information no, not all. It'll give me a lot of information as to what it is, but they don't really tell me how I can use it to my benefit. So, Leland, in that you brought up this subject, I'm listening to this. I'm out here in Hinterlands. I'm listening to this, and I've been talking to my broker. I've been talking to my financial planner, and he or she hasn't mentioned any of this. But if I wanted to know something about it, where do I go? Who do I go to? Who can I talk to?
First off, you can just call your nearest relative, tell them how much you love them. And after you do that, on a serious note though, but all you have to do really is you can reach out to myself, you can reach out to someone on our team, you can Google the website. We actually have a few videos that actually walk people through that. If you go to SAGmethod.com, we do that.
Walk us through? Seriously, you will hold my hand.
Seriously, yeah. And here's the reason why. Today is April 15th, right? Meaning that today's the tax deadline. Now, I know most Americans are going to have until like May 15th or something like that to file taxes, or longer. Yeah, or longer. Well, here's the thing. Every single year, the IRS gives everyone a gift. but most people don't open it up. And that gift comes in the form of you having the ability to make contributions into your 401k or IRA or whatever investment retirement account you have up until the 15th of that year. When you make those contributions, you are now able to have that as a deduction on your taxes. In other words, absolutely. In other words, you make a contribution before midnight, you get to deduct it from your taxes for the previous year.
So you're saying that if I made a deduction before midnight tonight in a self-directed IRA or a solo 401k, I can deduct that amount off of my tax bill for 2020?
Yes. You make a contribution in 2021.
Let's put it in numbers. My accountant has told me that my tax bill is going to be $2,500. So you're saying that if I were to invest $2,500, then my accountant will have to rerun the numbers and reduce my tax liability, not necessarily by $2,500, but by something where I'm able to benefit?
Absolutely. 1,000%.
And well, why didn't my accountant tell me that?
Because that's not the accountant's job. That's not the accountant's focus. That's not what it almost reminds me of, I don't know if you know, let's use sports for example, because they're pretty easy to understand. Mm-hmm. It would be like Scottie Pippen shooting the game-winning three-pointer. It's not that he can't do it, but his specialty is to rebound the ball, right?
I see. Michael
Jordan's specialty is to hit the game-winning shot. The accountant's specialty is to take what you give them. That's where the word accounting comes from. Take what you give them. They account for it, and then they submit it.
And you pay them for that service.
You pay for it. Yeah. As a matter of fact, at the bottom of your taxes, or there's a line that you normally will sign that says that this was prepared by so-and-so, but I, as a filer, am 100% responsible for what Billy Bob filed for me. And so you pay for what you get. If you're paying just to have that service of someone just to file, well, they're going to file it. They're not going to try to look at all the strategies. Now, here's the thing: when someone files your taxes, the system can only spit out to you what you've done. You would have to know beforehand the various strategies that will help you to gain more wealth. Our government, the IRS, the way the IRS works is.
But Leland, I've been using the same accounting firm for 20-some years, and not once has my accounting firm called me into the office after tax season and said, "Hey, Hank, why don't we sit down and talk about how to reduce your tax burden for the year?" What he'll do is to say, "Hank, to keep from paying this amount of money next year to Uncle Sam, because I work for myself," he says, "you need to make a quarterly payment to Uncle Sam of X number of dollars. And if you do that, then you will reduce your tax burden or tax liability." So you know what I normally would do?
Every quarter?
Every quarter I would I'll pay something extra.
Pay a toll.
And if I paid too much, at the end of the year, they call it a
refund.
Of whose money?
Of your own money.
But if I put it in a 401k, something that I managed, and in that made money, what do I do with that money?
It keeps rolling.
Really?
Absolutely. And
what's their website again?
All you have to do is go to SAG Method, SAG method.com. Seriously. Because what's interesting is any accountant, and good for them, and any accountant, what their job is to account. Their job is to write down what you tell them. But most accountants are not going to meet with you quarterly or even monthly, but let alone semi-annually.
It's a fee. They will for a fee.
They're not going to do it because the way the tax code is written is that you get two primary benefits if you're looking to build or increase your wealth. Two primary benefits, right? This is the Nixon. All right, two primary benefits. One, you are creating jobs, right? That's through employment. That's why if someone is an employee, they see on their check stub, their pay stub, it says tax withholdings. That's not money that you pay to the That's not money you pay to the IRS. That's money that your employer, holds back. And what they do with that money is really pretty cool. But they get to hold that money back. That's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother day.
That's right. Don't worry about what happened to it.
Don't worry about what happened. Yeah, just know.
You don't get it.
Just know that they have a hold to it, right? And then the other thing is if you create housing, if you create the opportunity for housing, you get more tax credits, more tax benefits, more tax advantages for those two things than anything else.
But, excuse me, sir, I just had please forgive me, people. My mind be racing. Now, if you take all of that information to some of these little what is it, robotax or what have you?
Yeah, the stuff in the stores. Yeah.
People, please, you need to make certain that it's not Bubba. Bad English. It ain't your cousin. You need to go to someone who is a CPA, a certified public accountant. Pay the money. Come on now. Come on. If you want to move ahead, there are certain things that you're gonna have to pay for. So stop trying to be cheap. You're being educated. So you're gonna pay. Here's the deal.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows, if or when you choose to pay for a CPA, which we encourage you to do, as a matter of fact, if you're already using a CPA, we're not even telling you to stop using them. We're just telling you to start using some smart investing tactics that will lower your taxes, right? And to do that, you go to sagmethod.com. Okay. So we're not saying stop doing that, but if you have a certified, you have a CPA, those fees, believe it or not, are also tax deductible.
Absolutely. Well, actually, what you're telling me is that you're going to pay me now, or you're going to pay me later. But either way, you're going to pay me.
Either way, you can pay me. So it's best to pay yourself in the process.
Okay.
To gain momentum. Okay. That's it. Seriously. Wow. I pray for everyone and forgive us for waiting until midnight to tell you. Okay? But know this, going forward, no matter what happens this year.
Now you know.
Have in the back of your mind, put it on your quarterly calendar that you know what, once a month, once a quarter, I'm going to go ahead and invest into my self-directed account.
I will say, please, now that you know, show some initiative, protect yourself and your family. And if you want to create that legacy that you always talk about, now is the time. I strongly encourage you to do it now.
That's it. So with that being said, we hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the day. If you have not filed your taxes, please do so. And with that being said, see you all in the next one.